Hello, everyone. I am back with another video review, probably the second video review, I think. I don't know how this is going to turn out because I am recording the audio before I even get the gameplay footage or put this all together. But I do know there's not going to be any, what's it called, any spoilers for this because I finished the story, so I'm just going to be running around the open world, finishing up some side quests and whatnot. And I don't think they have any story that will spoil anything. And if it does, I'll just cut it out, and that way you guys can enjoy it. Anyways, I am talking today about God of War: Sons of Sparta, the Metroidvania made by Mega Cat Games for the PlayStation 5. Strider is a little bit annoyed. He is barking, so that's interesting. This is canonically the first thing to ever happen in the God of War, or at least the first playable thing, story that we've gotten in a God of War game. This predates Ascension. This predates Ghost of Sparta. Strider keeps barking. I wonder why he's so pissy. Anyways, yeah. So this is canonically the first time Kratos was ever playable. He is around 13 years old in the story. He is accompanied by his brother Deimos, who is 11. So, fun fact: Zeus came down to Sparta and had sex with Kratos' mom twice. So he did it once, left home, was like, "Damn, I need to get me some of that," and came back and got some again, which I kind of find pretty funny. Anyways, you control Kratos after he is giving an Iron's Pass, which is a pass that lets him leave Sparta and explore the world. So him and Demos, I'm probably gonna call him Atreus at some point, but he's not Atreus. He's Demos. Kratos and Demos go out into the world. They explore. Um, they eventually get dragged into finding a missing Spartan boy. Kratos is against it the entire time. It's a whole story. I really enjoyed it after I finished Ghost of Sparta way back when it released on PSP. I wanted to learn more about Demos. I wanted to learn more about Kratos and who they were together, if they even got to spend any time together. And apparently, they got to spend at least 11 years together as of this game, because I don't remember at what age Demos gets taken away by the gods. But yeah, that I wanted more, and this is what I wanted. I got exactly what I wanted. Scott Melville, who you might know, I think that's his name, who you might know as Robin from Teen Titans. I just turned on my AC because it's hot as fuck in here, so I'm sorry for the noise. Who you might know from Teen Titans, voices Demos, and it's really hard to pull myself away from where I know him. I know him as Robin. I know him as Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. So it's really hard for me to pull away from that and figure and see him as anything else. But he does give a good performance as Demos. He does make this character come across as more than just an annoying little brother. And if you know about the lore from God of War, it's going to get a little bit spoilery, but not really. Demos was supposed to be the one to destroy Olympus. He was the one that the gods were afraid of. Turns out they actually were afraid of, they were supposed to be afraid of Kratos, who ended up getting a tattoo like Demos' birthmark on his face and his arm, because he does have a red mark on his arm and his face, which eventually Kratos copies by getting it tattooed onto himself. So they took Demos away, was going to be this incredible force of destruction against the gods. And throughout the game, you get to see those little bits of greatness of where Demos was supposed to be this amazing hero and this incredible warrior later on in his life, which never really materialized because of the gods meddling. So it's a little bit sad to see all that wasted potential in this character because of the gods meddling. I found that really cool. I'm glad that they did that to him, that they showed him like that. and I'm very glad that this game was made because I honestly really enjoyed learning more about this character and actually seeing more of Kratos as a young man, as a 13-year-old boy, seeing him wrestle with duty and doing everything for Sparta against doing what's right, which is kind of wild. Seeing this insane, angry human demigod monster that is Kratos, who destroyed the world just to kill the gods of Olympus, be conscious, try to be a good person and do what's right. He is very duty bound with everything being for Sparta, which, you know, I guess it's part of his character. It makes sense because he was a highly decorated general before he became the Ghost of Sparta. But seeing him, you know, as this boy dealing with life, dealing with what's right, and dealing with serving Sparta, it's very interesting. It's if you're a fan of the God of War lore, which I am a big fan of the lore before the 2015, 2016, I don't give a fuck, whenever that fucking game came out with Atreus. Everything before that I find super interesting. I feel like they had a very good world, a very good character with a lot of possibilities and a lot of things to show. I feel like that was super interesting, and then whenever they did the reboot or they continued the story on with the new God of War, it just kind of I don't know. It might be just Norse mythology. I don't find it interesting at all. And then they kind of, instead of the gods being epic gods, you kind of have like the fucking mafia and their gods. The whole family of gods is just a mafia, because Odin is just a fucking kingpin. He's just a don. He's not. I don't really like the new God of War series. The gameplay is not great in my opinion, and the story's just it's this whole Sony wants everything to be the Last of Us kind of era of games that they were making, and I'm sick of it. Which is why I find that the story in this game is so good, because it is so deep. It's well made. It's something that I've been wanting, that I didn't know I wanted in this format. But before we get into the gameplay, let me talk about the music a little bit. The music is all over the fucking place. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the gameplay, but the music is all over the fucking place. You have MIDI 8-bit style tunes for some fucking reason, and then you have like orchestral songs, music like in the original God of War games. It's just all over the place. Like, it can't really like pick a lane, which I am not saying the music is bad. I think the MIDI is good. I think the orchestral stuff is good. I think it's all very serviceable. But it's like the devs couldn't figure out, or the person in charge of music couldn't figure out, if we're gonna go game, like this is gonna be a definite 100% game, or if this is just gonna be a heroic coming of age tale and quest for both Kratos and Deimos. I don't know. That was a little bit jarring, but you know, I like the music. I think it's okay. And if you know me, I am not huge into video game music in a way that it sticks with me. It has to be something impressive music-wise for it to stick to me, like Persona or Final Fantasy, stuff like that. That sticks with me, but you know, most music doesn't. Let's get into the graphics. I really like the graphics. There's a lot of, I don't know if I want to say voxel or pixel art. It does this really cool thing that I really, really like, and I wish more games did. If you've played Jackie Chan Adventures on the Game Boy Advance, then you would know exactly what I'm talking about, where it's all 2D, it's a side scroller, whatever. But the characters have like this glow or look to them where they look pseudo 3D-ish, but they're not really 3D. All of the characters in this game look like that, and I find that just impeccable. I think it looks amazing. I think when the animations are just going, it looks incredibly fluid and great. I love the world design, how everything looks. You know, you have like your it's a Metroidvania, so you have like your area where you're running around and your platforms and shit. And then you can see the backgrounds like sprawling vistas like they used to do in the old God of War games, right? So you have like God of War 1 when you're walking across the sword that Ares is holding and you see like this vast, expansive uh, dock, for lack of better words. I can't remember the fucking word for it, where ships would come into the city. It gave it scale, and I feel like the sense of scale is somewhat shown in this game with the backdrops. Particularly in some areas, as you're climbing and doing the platforming, you can see more and more of the background expand as you go up, giving a sense of, you know, there's verticality, so the world is more viewable because of your verticality and how you're climbing up. The enemy design is I have a little bit of an issue with the enemy design, right? Because you have a lot, a lot of returning enemies from the first three God of Wars, right? You have the Centurions with the shield, the regular zombie soldiers. You know, you have undead, you have harpies, which I fucking hate the harpies. The harpies are the worst fucking character possible they could have thrown in there, or at least if you throw it in there, don't make it as fucking annoying as you did. Holy fuck the harpies. The sirens were kind of annoying too. The Cyclops were great to fight, as always. But, you know, it's weird because you're running through a bog, right? And you run into a Centurion. Like, what the fuck is a Centurion doing down here? Or there's a giant cistern that you have to go into, and for some reason there's another fucking Centurion in there. Like, some of the enemy placement doesn't make sense, but I guess that's what they did with what they had. They just wanted to make everybody that is a fan of God of War to be like, oh shit, I've killed that before. And to be honest, as I really love the game, the graphics. Graphics are incredible. I think it looks just great. Before I get into what I was going to be honest about, that kind of falls into gameplay. The graphics themselves, I wanted to say, which I completely forgot, and I am blanking on right now. The animations. The animations are great, but you can definitely tell when the developers stopped and cut together a new animation. So you would see like scripted things, like you fight a couple of birds, right? These bird monsters, boss fights, right? And each time you beat the bird boss, there's an animation that happens, and you can clearly see there's this giant cut between your gameplay and it going into an animation specific for that fight. It does that a lot throughout the game, and you can definitely see where there's like these hard cuts and it doesn't flow into the animation as I would have liked for it to do, but whatever. It's a minor complaint. I also had a bunch of issues where I would meet up with certain characters and bonfires, which are your save points, and they would be doing something like some sort of idle animation, right? And the idle animation would kind of loop in on itself, so you would see like the animation running twice on the same spot. So like you would see the character's hands move forward, and then whenever they go back, you would see them move forward again, but behind the hands that are moving back. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's an error. I really don't know, but whatever. It's minor complaint. Now let's get into the gameplay. Where do I want to start? It's a Metroidvania, so obviously you got platforming. You got eventually a double jump. You got a dash. You got basically a shine spark from like Metroid, where you can run really fast and like crash through walls and all that shit. And you can also use it to go up and down, like jumping up or jumping down. It comes with a preset way for you to do everything, like have the triangle be your action button or whatever, but you can actually move it to the X button by clicking some settings. I suggest you go through the settings before you continue the game or start the game to fix some things to make it feel more like a classic Metroidvania instead of something new. So I think the new controllers, they work, they're serviceable, but I don't know. Like they knew people were gonna not really enjoy them, and added that you know option to set everything to whatever you want it to be, which I find great. I like that. The only thing I wish they would have let me done, which really drove me fucking crazy, was the movement. Whenever I play a Metroidvania, I like to play with the D-pad. I do not like playing with a control stick. The analog stick just drives me crazy. It doesn't go the way that I want it to be. It registers super sensitive inputs. Like if I want to, I cannot tell you how many times I wanted to go down a ledge, right? So down X button, you jump down the ledge, right? And I wasn't just pointing down. I was kind of like a little bit angled to the right or the left. Kratos fucking jumps up onto the next fucking screen. That's not what I want, right? That drove me insane. If I would have been given the ability of just using the D-pad for that kind of movement, I would have been happy. So the reason why you can't do it is because the D-pad is used for some items that you have, like you have a head, a disembodied bust, you have a ceramic head that you carry around. That's basically your everything. You can suck up bad poison with it. You can use the gaze to unlock certain things. You can use the hearing to open secret walls. You're probably going to see it at some point during the gameplay that I'm showing you right now. Everything that the head does, you also have. I'm probably just going to stop at this point and just show you exactly what the buttons do, right? You have like an extra weapon and a glaive that you can throw, and it spins and shit and hits certain things to come down, and a stone, which is your ranged attack. And all of that's attached to magic meter, for lack of a better word. But because of that, right? Like if they would have given me, they probably did. I was just not smart enough to figure it out. Giving me the opportunity of moving that over to the right analog stick, because I don't think you use it at all, and then having all the movement being done on the D-pad, I would have been very, very happy. Because yeah, I think the reason why I put 24 hours into this game is because a lot of it I was fighting the C stick. I don't like the C stick, control stick, the analog stick, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't like using it for Metroidvanias. Other than that, you have your spear, right? You as you gain blood orbs, you can upgrade your abilities, get new abilities. So you have like a shield parry, and then that shield parry turns into a slam with the shield that increases the stagger bar on the enemies. And then if you hold R1 and you press square, right, then you hit harder, and that increases the stagger on the enemy, but it also generates health orbs, which in this game, I feel like Kratos is made out of paper, which tracks because he's the 13-year-old boy, right? But I feel like the enemies at times, they hit way too hard. I started playing this on normal, and I got really pissed off, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to change it to boy. I don't care. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I'm here for the story anyways. I just played it like that, and even then, I still found some fights to be like, holy fuck, this is hard. This game is fucking hard. I wasn't expecting it to be as hard as it was. Being God of War, right? The power fantasy in God of War is you're an indestructible killing machine. Your everything in the way is killable, right? That is what God of War is, at least to me. At least 1, 2, 3, Ghost of Sparta, Chains of Olympus are all you are the monster. Everything else is just your victim. This game isn't really like that. If I were to compare it to anything, I would say that this is Hollow Knight-ish. I've never played more than an hour or two of Hollow Knight, but I know it's difficult. The fights do get pretty intense. There's a lot of pattern recognition that you need to do, a lot of timing, parrying. Blocking doesn't really work because you still lose a little bit of health. You gotta keep your focus gauge at a certain level while also hitting to stagger and regain health. It's a really nice way of doing combat. I really like the way that it handles the combat. The boss fights, I thought there was a couple that were pretty fucking annoying. Like I said, the birds were really fucking annoying because they stagger you whenever they hit you, which I'm really sick of the stagger mechanic. Can we please just get good Metroidvanias without the stagger mechanic? Like, I feel like this game would have been quite a bit more enjoyable without being staggered by every single fucking hit that you take. Like I said, some bosses were just annoying. There was a Cyclops towards the end where he had like these really huge sweeping animations, and that was basically the only attack it did. And if it wasn't for the focus hits that restore your health and the health flask that you get midway through the game, I think it would have been a lot harder than it was. It really wasn't hard at all, but yeah. But something that I do like about the gameplay is that as you're playing through, you feel Kratos get stronger and gain abilities that he has from the beginning in God of War, like the double jump. He has the double jump from the beginning in God of War. You get that at some point in this game, and it makes exploration a whole lot better. You get the dash. The dash is just great. So you can really see Kratos go from a young Spartan soldier to becoming a formidable Spartan warrior. And same goes for Demos. You also see, oh man, I completely forgot about this in the story. You see Kratos wrestle with what it's like being a child in the as a Spartan, going through the trials and everything. This guy is fucking. I don't want to say depressed. He's traumatized. He is definitely traumatized. He's like, this was awful. I don't want Demos to go through this. It's great. I think the story is just fantastic. But going back to the gameplay, there you get boons as you go through. So like I said, you get like a glaive, a sword, you get a slingshot, a fire brush, or whatever. And you also find like these little challenge rooms where you can collect olives. And you just fight a bunch of monsters, get the olives, then you can go to the altars in the gods' temples and drop the olives off to get upgrades to those abilities, right? So if you go to the goddess Nike, which I didn't know there was a goddess called Nike, like the brand of the shoe, which I found that so weird. If you go to the goddess Nike and you get all of her olives and you fill up the thing for all of her olives, then each time you use the dash ability, your focus lowers less and less. So you don't spend as much focus without dashing. I wish it would have gone to the point where once you got it all filled, all the olives for Nike, your dash wouldn't use your focus at all, because Kratos' run animation, I find it is a bit too slow for my liking. Even the dash, I find it a bit slow until it reaches stop speed. But it's whatever. So yeah, so you upgrade your stuff. There's also like these specific god rewards that you give them to increase the power of some of the abilities that you get. So I think it's Apollo, if I'm not mistaken. His rewards make it so that your launch ability, at times you'll find like these items on the floor. You'll find like a helmet or a wheel or something. You'll click triangle and Kratos will like launch it across the screen, and it'll hit enemies and increase their stagger, right? So you get these things that you can give to the god, and it makes it stronger. So it increases stagger. It creates an explosion when it lands. It whatever. So each one of the gods has these 3 rewards you can put on their pedestals to increase those abilities that you have. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. It's a very solid Metroidvania. I think the gameplay is fine. The platforming's fine. There are a couple of places that I haven't gone to get the olives or the rewards for the gods, because I think I'm still missing some stuff. I might have collected some stuff already while you're hearing this or watching this video. I don't know. I feel like this game is better than what people say it is. Because let me see. I'm looking it up right now. Uh, God of War, Sons of Sparta, Metacritic, right? So I feel like it's a very solid Metroidvania. It's a 64 Metacritic. I don't know why it's a 64. That is crazy to me. Gaming Bolt gave it a 90, PlayStation Universe a 75, 70 from GameSpew, CTG gave it a 60, IGN Turkey a 60, Shack News gave it a 40. Holy shit. That's crazy. I think it might have just been reviewers that gave it a bad score because I feel like this is a very solid Metroidvania. And getting into overall thoughts now, I am going to say that I feel like the pacing of the game is a little bit glacier at times. I play like maybe 5 to 8 hours before something major in the story happened, and I got like an ability that would really open up exploration a bit more. So I feel like the pacing is a little bit not well done. It needs a lot of help. But other than that, and other than the difficulty and the music being all over the place, I think this is a very, very solid game. Let me see, what did I say about this game? This game is way better than people are giving it credit for. I had no idea how much I wanted a God of War, whatever. The game looks amazing. It has really cool polygon and pseudo 3D look to the character models. Okay. There's a lot they can potentially fix for another game in the series, talking about Mega Cat Studios. Yeah, I had to pause because I had to cough, but I just read through the rest of it, and basically, yeah, there's a lot of places where they can improve. Music, please pick a place. Don't go over the place. If it's going to be MIDI, make it all MIDI. It's fine. If it's going to be orchestral, make it all orchestral. Just pick a fucking lane. You can make it so that the enemies aren't complete fucking horseshit like the harpies. The harpies fucking blow, and then there's these zombies that you fight that have these projectiles that they throw at you, and they're just fucking terrible. Like, holy fuck. You also get elemental debuffs like poisoning, or you get frozen and you get slower. There's a whole stage that is like on top of a mountain, so it's all ice, all frosted, whatever, and you move incredibly slow until you light some torches to make it warm, and then you can move. Fighting enemies in that was it was not fun. It was so bad. So I feel like there's a lot for them to fix in this game. One of the things that I would wish for them to fix is, you know how in the new God of Wars you get what's it called? New armor, new upgrades to your weapons and whatever, and that kind of dictates what level you're at, capping at like level 6 or something. They do the same thing in this game, and I do not like that. Maybe go to a traditional leveling up style. I think that would be a whole lot more successful, even though God of War hasn't really ever had a leveling up system like Castlevania does. But figure something out that's different than what you have, because I really do not like it. Like, you have to get a certain amount of orbs and certain items, and then so you can level this and do more damage, and then that's still not enough. You're still level 5, so you need to find another specific fucking item so you can go fucking upgrade your fucking shit so that you can finally be at level 6. But even though you're still at level 6, you're finally caught up to all the fucking enemies in the overworld so that you can do the minimum damage necessary to actually put them down without fucking I hate that shit. I don't want to do that. Please, a leveling system would be great. The world traversal, I feel it's fine. I feel like there's a couple of things that you can improve on, like make it so that I can finish and collect everything in the game before I roll the credits. Because once I roll the credits, I don't care. I'm done. I don't want to go back to the game. I don't want to mop up anything. If I didn't mop it up before the credits rolled, I'm not gonna fucking do it. I don't care about your game enough to keep playing. And that I'm just being honest. I don't care about your game enough for me to be playing after the story's over. It's just not in me to do that. But overall, this is Mega Cat Studios' second actual Metroidvania. I haven't played the first one. I'm probably not going to play it. I looked at some gameplay and it just looks all right. I think it's a very solid entry into God of War, and I think it's a very solid and competent Metroidvania. I really like the Metroidvania genre. I've been playing a lot of them throughout the years and all that. And I just saw a kid and texted me asking me if I was streaming. No, I'm recording something. She's not going to watch this, so that, I don't know why I'm saying this. Anyways, it's a very solid Metroidvania. I played a lot of really shitty ones, like After Image. I thought that was going to be great, and it was fun for a bit. Then I'm 20 hours into it, and it's still not fucking over. And I don't see any light anywhere near indicating that the game is going to be over soon. And the story progression was not great. But this one, you could see little by little how their quest is going and whatnot. And even when you finish the game, you know, you're still a Spartan. You still have your Irons Pass. You're still tasked with doing things for Sparta as a Spartan soldier. I would love to see another one of these games in this style, right? So another God of War game. I would love to see Kratos as a younger general, right? The whole Metroidvania as Kratos as a younger general in the Spartan army. Or I would love to see Deimos, because when you find him in Ghost of Sparta, he's chained. He is just pure rage like Kratos, ready to kill all the gods like Kratos. I would like to see something after, like, the gods kidnap him, because, you know, the gods are fucking fickle bitches. They might have just thrown him into a fucking dungeon and been like, if you get out, you get your freedom, and then that turns out to be... I don't care. I would like to see another game in this style, and something that I would like to see more, apart from let me use the D-pad as my default movement, is put it on a platform that is handheld. I think this game would have been amazing on the Switch. I think this game would have been amazing on the Steam Deck. I'm sure it would have been amazing on the PlayStation Portal if it actually fucking worked, but that thing is not great. I would like to play it on the couch while my wife is watching TV, you know, while we're hanging out, and I'm just sitting there just playing on a handheld. This is a game that just screams that it's perfect for a handheld. I played it on PlayStation 5, on my TV. It was fine. I enjoyed it the entire time. But, you know, I don't want to be chained down to my TV when I'm playing a game that I could easily play on something else that's just powerful enough to run it. And I keep saying this, and I might sound like a broken record by this point, but it is a very good game. I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 on my personal scoreboard on my Discord channel or whatever, where I have it on whatever. Doesn't matter. I feel like this game could have easily been a 10 with some more polish. I don't know if it was ready for a long time, like rumors say, or if it's something that they put together in a couple of months, you know, to boost the God of War series remake that's coming at some point. I don't know. I feel like this game would benefit from being on other platforms, getting it in more hands of people that don't have a PlayStation 5. I think Megacat did a fantastic job. I think Megacat should be giving them another opportunity to do another one with, you know, more improvements, maybe some quality of life improvements. I liked it. I really liked this game. I like the characters. I like the morality of it. I like the way the characters feel, the way that they acted, everything. Having the ending was intense. I looked up what the ending was, right? Like I looked up, I wanted to see how much I had left on the game. So I read through the Wikipedia, and I knew exactly what happened at the end. And even though I knew exactly what happened, it was still emotionally charged, and I was like, yeah, this is very good. This is very, very good. It also helps that the performances are fantastic. I don't know. Let me see who plays Kratos. So it looks like Anthony Del Rio voices young Kratos, and he does a fantastic job. I really like him as young Kratos. T.C. Carson is back, which I love that he is back as adult Kratos narrating what's happening. You also have him interacting with Calliope throughout the game, which I just love. Seeing Kratos interact with his daughter. The only real times you see it happen is in Chains of Olympus, I think, when he goes to Elysium and he has to leave Elysium. Yeah, the game is it's perfect for fans of the series who actually like the original games and don't, and maybe even for fans who like the new games, which I feel like a lot of people just like these new games and God, brainless fuckwads. If you're one of these people that only likes the new God of War games, please give the old ones a try. They're fantastic. I don't know if it's because they were there when I played them as they released. I don't know. I love this. I want more of this. 8.5, and that's it. I don't have anything else to say. Just please go play this game. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and I hope you have a good whatever time of day it is. If it's morning, good morning. If it's good afternoon, afternoon. If it's night, good night. And I love you all. Kisses. Bye.